Hi everyone. In this video, I'll show you how to enroll a corporate-owned Android device using MobiHeal MDM. This makes it easy to manage company devices and keep your apps and policies in order. To log into the MobiHeal MDM, click on the email field and enter your registered email. Next, fill in your password in the field below. Verify you're human by ticking the I'm not a robot checkbox. Once everything is set, hit the login button to sign in. You'll be redirected to the dashboard. Before creating a policy, if you want to add any applications to the device, you need to go to the app management section. From here, you can search for available applications from the app catalog list. If you want to add a new application, click on the add application button. Since we are working with Android OS, we will select Android. Here you will see three options: public apps, private apps, and web apps. You can choose any one of them. For this example, we are searching for ChatGPT. After selecting the application, you can provide a name of your choice and then submit the app information. Once completed, the application will be added to the app catalog list. Now we'll start setting up our policy. To create a corporate policy, head over to Policy Management in the left navigation menu. This will load the policy management page where you can see any existing policies you've already set up. Hit the Create Policy button in the top right to start building a new one. Since we're setting this up for an Android device, choose Android from the Choose OS pop-up. Give your policy a recognizable name in the Enter Policy Name field. Something like corporate_policy works well so you can easily identify it later. You'll notice several tabs along the top, each handling a different category of settings. Let's take a quick tour. We will start with the Security tab, where you can manage features such as disabling location sharing, factory reset, and other security-related restrictions. Jump over to the Network tab, where you can control connectivity options like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and tethering configurations. Next up, open the Apps tab to manage application-level restrictions. Move on to the Device tab, which is where you'll configure hardware-related controls. Scroll down through the device settings to explore the various hardware permissions you can manage from here. For a corporate setup, you'll often want to restrict microphone usage to prevent unauthorized recording. Open the Microphone Access dropdown and set it to Disabled. Heading over to the Users tab, this is where you can handle profile and account controls for your devices. Next, open the Communications tab, which lets you manage calls, messages, and similar communication settings. Jump into the Storage tab, where you can apply storage-related restrictions on the device. Click on the Kiosk tab if you'd like to set up your device in kiosk mode, choosing either multi-app or single-app kiosk. Finally, head over to the Install Apps section and toggle on the app you want to push to your device. Next, open the Update Mode dropdown, which controls how quickly the app gets pushed to the device. Go with high priority here, so the application installs on your device immediately. Open the Select Install Type dropdown to define how the app should be deployed. Pick Force Installed so the application is automatically added to the device without any user action. Go ahead and hit the Create Policy button to save it. And there you have it. You'll see a confirmation message pop up letting you know the policy has been created successfully. Head over to the Device Enrollment tab in the left-hand menu. You'll see a few options expand here. We're going to work with Generate by View tokens. Next, let's configure the token settings to match the corporate policy we created earlier. To configure the token settings, start by clicking on the Policy Name drop-down menu. Pick the corporate policy you just created from the list. Next, open the Personal Usage drop-down to define how the device can be used. Since this is a corporate-owned device, select Personal Usage is disallowed. This setting is mandatory for fully managed corporate Android devices. With the token settings configured, we are ready to create the QR code. Click the Generate button to create the enrollment QR code that the device will scan during setup. To create the enrollment token, hit the Generate button. Your token is now ready and added to the list. To view the QR code, click on the QR icon next to your newly generated token. Keep in mind, this token will expire after 48 hours. For now, close this pop-up to continue. Open the QR code again, as we'll need it to scan and enroll the device in the next phase. Now that the policy and token are ready, let's move on to setting up the device for enrollment. Before we begin, make sure your device is factory reset, as this is a mandatory requirement for enrolling a corporate-owned Android device. On the welcome screen, tap the Start button to kick off the setup. Go ahead and tap Skip to move past the screen. The device setup has now been initiated. Next, let's connect the device to a Wi-Fi network so it can communicate with the MDM server during enrollment. To connect the device to the internet, tap on your preferred Wi-Fi network from the list. Go ahead and enter the Wi-Fi password to establish the connection. When you reach the Copy Apps and Data screen, tap on Don't Copy since we're setting this up as a fresh corporate device. The device will take a moment to check your info before moving you to the Google Sign-in screen. On the Google Sign-in screen, instead of entering an email, type in the special Android setup keyword AFW #setup. This is what tells the device to begin Android for work enrollment rather than a personal sign-in. Hit next to proceed with the corporate enrollment flow. The corporate setup has been triggered successfully. Next, let's move on to scanning the enrollment QR code, which links the device to your organization's MDM configuration. To kick off the enrollment, confirm that this device belongs to your organization by clicking Next. The phone will now begin preparing itself for the work setup, so give it a moment to load. You'll then see a quick checking code message as the device gets ready for the next step. A permission pop-up will appear asking device policy to use the camera. Since this is needed to scan the QR code, go ahead and tap only this time. The QR code scanner will now launch on a screen ready to enroll your device. Use QR code generated from the MobiHeal and your phone's camera to scan it. Once it's scanned, the device will verify the code and move you forward to the work profile setup. Next, we'll move on to accepting work device terms, where we confirm the agreements required to set up this device as a corporate managed one. To accept the work device terms, once the Let's Set Up Your Work Device screen appears after the QR scan, hit Accept and continue to agree to the work profile setup. The device will now walk you through a couple of informational screens, letting you know your work apps will be readily available and reminding you that this device is in private since it's managed by your organization. Go ahead and tap Next to move on to the security setup. Now let's move on to completing the security and app checklist, where we'll set up the required device protections and install the necessary applications to meet enrollment requirements. To complete the security and app checklist, start by tapping Set a Screen Lock on the Your Work Checklist screen to set a phone lock. Back on your work checklist, tap Install Work Apps to push the apps defined in your MDM policy onto the device. You will see the MobiHeal Buddy app along with any other apps included in your policy. Once they are listed, simply tap Done to wrap up this step. Next, we'll move on to setting up the MobiHeal Buddy app, which is the companion app that connects your device to the MDM server for management. To set up the MobiHeal Buddy app, tap the Setup option next to it on the checklist. This is the core agent app that lets the MDM communicate with and manage your device. A permission pop-up will appear, so go ahead and tap Allow to proceed. On the MobiHeal Buddy setup screen, hit Start Setup. When prompted for external storage, tap Allow, and then enable the toggle for Allow access to manage all files. This permission is essential so the app can manage files across the device as part of your company policy. Continue with the setup, and when you reach Usage Access, grant Usage Access permission to the MobiHeal Buddy app so it can monitor app activity for compliance. Next, we'll move on to naming and registering the device with MDM, which assigns a unique identity to this device so it can be tracked and managed from the MobiHeal console. To name and register the device, tap on the device name field and enter a username that helps you identify this device, then save it. Hit the Register Device with MDM option to link this device with your MDM console. Give it a moment to complete the registration process. Once the device status screen pops up confirming everything is set, simply tap Close to wrap things up. Let's move on to the final step, confirming successful device enrollment to verify that everything is set up correctly. To confirm the enrollment is complete, wait a moment while the device finishes registering with the MDM server. Once you land on the home screen, swipe up to bring up the full list of installed apps. And that's it. You have successfully enrolled your corporate-owned Android device. Thank you.